Hello. Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Let's get to know each other while I make some coffee. My name's Liz, and I'm the artist behind sendoodz. It's like sendoodz, but with doodles, so sendoodz. I'm a self-taught illustrator who dabbles in acrylic painting, digital art, and mural work. And my style is kind of a love letter to these quiet, everyday moments of our lives through a super saturated color palette. My favorite colors to use, by the way, are red and fluorescent pink, which I think you'll see all throughout my work. I currently live with my partner Nick and our 2 cats in San Francisco, California. In this vlog, we're gonna get into what my first 6 months as a full-time artist have been like, and then we're gonna do some little creative side quests in the home studio. Hope you enjoy, and thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I'll see you soon. Today is Tuesday, December 30th, 2025. It's been exactly 6 months since the day I quit my job as a product designer in corporate tech. I had a 10-minute exit interview, packed my things, said goodbye to all the coworkers I've had for the last 5 years, and then I dumped my laptop, work phone, and badge in a cold metal box that locked itself shut automatically, and that was it. The day I had been thinking about for so long had finally happened, and I walked away from my office for the very last time. You might be wondering what's happened since then, and the answer is kind of a lot. First, I went back to school as a part-time student at CCSF to study painting and fell in love with learning again. I had my art shown in 6 different shows across the Bay Area, and I also hosted my first duo art show with my friend Carolyn. I got to vend at 7 events from August through December at some of the biggest markets I've done to date. I also did my first brand illustration project to help my friends at Casa Jam with their grand opening. I got to collab creatively with some of my closest friends who guided me through their craft while we got to make really cool art together. I explored art and activism and helped donate $640 to the Gaza Soup Kitchen. I painted a new mural for a local business after a car tire smashed through their windows and destroyed the old one that I painted last year. And I also got to meet so many of you in the creative community. Of course, that's not all. Since June, I've also learned how to budget harder than I ever have before. I spent long nights prepping for events and markets. I got scammed by customers with 2 fake $100 bills. Last but not least, I struggled with my confidence to be good enough to even do this path, with imposter syndrome in both the fine art world and also in the small business world. Through it all, I know I am extremely lucky and privileged to have the capacity to do this, so no matter how long or short I get to walk this path, I don't think I'll ever regret my decision to try it out. I'm bringing you along on this journey as a promise not to give up on myself, to keep a visual diary of this very special moment in my life, and also just to share my experiences with you. I'm so excited for what's next, so yeah, on to the vlog. So today is a Friday, and I thought it might be a fun day to just do like a little day in the life. We're basically gonna do a lot of like little side quests. Okay, we got sticker sheet illos, plushie manufacturing stuff, unboxing my December prints, and then making more stickers. Later at night, I'm gonna meet up with Stacy, and we're gonna drop off 2 of our pet portrait dishes in South Bay. And then I want to prep some risograph files for my printing session that I booked on Sunday over at Now Place SF. And if I forget anything, I will add it in later. So we have our list of things to do. Let's get started. Okay, this is voiceover me here. I'm going to show you what I'm drawing up here on the screen. And while I'm working on this, I wanted to share how sendoodz was born. The account for sendoodz originally started as a private Finsta in college where I'd post a doodle and some thoughts. And then COVID hit in 2020. We were all kicked off campus. I moved back home with my parents and graduated from college on Zoom, and then started my first full-time job, also on Zoom, all from a laptop in my childhood bedroom. When everything around me felt like it was changing and I felt so stuck at a time in my life where I was supposed to be on the cusp of figuring out who I was, my identity, my sexuality, who I might want to become, I turned to art. I ended up investing in a refurbished iPad that I use almost every day still, and learned how to watercolor and continue to share little diary logs of my silly drawings and thoughts. Then on a whim one day, I made the account public. Social media in 2020 at the time also brought forth a lot of long-standing social justice issues, and I wondered how I could get involved in small-scale organizing. So in September 2020, I made my first stickers for sale and raised $684 for the National Community Bail Fund. I remember being so excited that my art could have this type of impact beyond just the joy that it brought to myself. Before that, art had always been a part of my life, but never the priority. I got started with scratch paper and pencil at home in my family's basement in New Jersey, following Neopet's drawing tutorials. And then I became a weeb. I fell in love with anime and the anime art style. I think my earliest known online works from 2008 include This Tea Time Sasuke and dozens of chibis from my capitalist arc of selling Microsoft Paint art on GaiaOnline.com. Sadly, anime wasn't that cool to talk about when I was a kid as it is now, and so when I started middle school at a new town where I knew no one at all, I kept my art and my interests pretty separate from the rest of my life. As time went on, the pressures to do well in school and fitting in kind of took over, and before I knew it, I stopped drawing altogether. So coming back to art in adulthood felt really healing for my inner child. It also made me remember how much I loved drawing. It kept me grounded through the last 5 years of working in corporate tech. There was who I was at work and then who I was as an artist on the side. And the longer I worked in corporate, the more at odds I felt in these two identities. And no job is perfect, but especially for folks in tech, there is a growing and inseparable impact that we have on disproportionate wealth gaps, gentrification, environmental harm, and so much more. But on top of that, I also just wasn't really proud of who I was becoming. I didn't feel that I was being that intentional with my time and energy, and most days, when the day was done, I felt too burnt out to even respond to texts. I traded convenience for the connection and community that I was deeply, deeply craving on the inside. I resisted leaving for years because I was afraid that I would fail, honestly, if I tried anything else, and also because staying put meant a comfortable life, even if I had to sell out. But whenever I could, I would keep making art and putting myself out there and posting it online with whatever energy I had left. Sometimes this would only be once a month or every other month. I applied to lots of things, DM'd a lot of people, and got rejected from most of the things I asked about. But every so often, I would get an email that felt huge, like getting into my first art show, having my first painting sell, vending somewhere for the first time, and getting asked to do my first animation commission. Along the way, someone, somewhere, believed in my art. And a lot of them are part of my community still to this day. I wouldn't be who I am without them. It made me feel a way I hadn't felt in years, if ever. The fear of leaving kind of felt smaller and smaller over time. And finally, when 2025 came around, I decided it would be worth the leap, even if only for a few months, maybe a year. I just might surprise myself. So I spent a few months budgeting my finances, lining up art shows to apply for, signing up to vend at multiple events, launching my Patreon, applying for city college classes, and filing as an LLC. So by the time I put in my 2-week notice and June 30th had rolled around, I felt pretty delusional, a bit scared, but also just like more ready than I thought I would be. And I have not looked back since. So that's the very speedy version of how sendoodz happened. I think we're just about done with the illustration here for the school day sticker sheet. So going back to vlog me for the rest of the video.
Oh, hi, Ink. So, as a little progress check-in, a little sneak peek of the guy that I am interested in doing. I want to start with the concept of the plushie. We're going to call him Unlucky Cat. I've made Unlucky Cat stickers in 2020. They were, I think, the second sticker design I ever made. I'm gonna pop like a bigger picture of it here. I really love a lot about the original design I drew for Unlucky Cat. Instead of like the good luck or good fortune characters in Chinese that usually are on here, Unlucky Cat is holding one that says 厄运, which is literally like bad luck, misfortune. And instead of the classic like arm coming up and moving, he's gonna be doing like flipping you off, but with like nubby cat paws. I'm gonna make him have yellow eyes just like my cat Ink does. So yeah, I'm really excited to try to bring it to life. And I watched a lot of like Apple Cheeks manufacturing videos. I am in the stage where I have sketches. I have some color palettes mocked up in Figma. The next step I was thinking about, okay, what kind of like fabric do I want on the like body of the cat? How do I want the eyes and the mouth and like the details to look, and what kind of materials can that use? And then what are just like other details around the size specs? So all of this stuff is called a tech pack, and so when you're talking to manufacturers, supposedly like you want to put together a fairly detailed tech pack so they know where to start. I've never done this before, so definitely out of my comfort zone, but I figure it doesn't hurt to start getting quotes from people and learning how to talk to manufacturers. So I started basically submitting requests for quotes to a bunch of different plushie manufacturers that I found on Alibaba. And so I'm getting like a lot of messages back. I'm starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed, but right now I'm just gonna do a little bit more like sketching and just like thinking about how I want to make the design. That's the very early stages of this plushie guy. I'm excited. I know full well that like this might not ever become a thing, but this would be really cool to like hold in my hands one day and like go through this type of design process and like make something more physical and have like a hand in the design process as well. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay. Hi. I did want to print more of the stickers that I'm offering for Patreon for both November and December. I use a Cricut. I got my Cricut. It's a Cricut Explore 3. I got her off of Facebook Marketplace for $100. I made a Lord Farquaad costume for Halloween, and I DIY'd pretty much everything except for the dress that I thrifted. I used to cut all my stickers by hand, and that was painful, but I also made stickers very, very infrequently, and I only tabled at markets like once a year. I already prepped this file ahead of time. Basically within Cricut Design Space, you can set up a blank canvas. I had already drawn these stickers in Procreate, so these are just like PNGs with a transparent background. I'm going to be printing these at home on Online Paper's waterproof sticker paper. When you go to edit, you have this option right here. It's called offset. It's just one of the options, and then you can toggle how big or small you want that white outline to be. There's roughly 10 on this. We're going to go ahead and click make. First we're going to select which paper size, so 8.5 by 11. Next I'm going to send it to my printer to actually print. Okay, so yay, they look great. They look exactly how they're supposed to. Next I'm going to add the laminate on top. Definitely optional, but I do this for all my stickers because it just feels the way I want my stickers to feel. I press and align just the top bit, and then the part that actually makes this much easier for me to avoid any air bubbles and messing up any of the rest of the lamination, I take my metal ruler kind of like align it to where I've already applied some pressure, and I just take it at like a 45-degree angle, press, and kind of like run the laminate against the paper like so. There you go. A perfectly laminated sticker paper with pretty much no air bubbles and very low drama. No stress, no drama. That's what we're all about. Sticker mat that I used, it was a little too sticky at first, and all my stickers were actually getting stuck on it in like a very bad and annoying way. Press down. Now it's ready. We're gonna press this blinking play button, and she's gonna start cutting. Okay, and here's the final sticker. My friend Stacy and I, their handle is Dep Clay. We did a pet portrait trinket dish commission. We did a pre-order of 10 little pet trinket dishes. I'm kind of new to ceramics. I don't do any ceramics myself, but after collaborating with Stacy on her pieces, there's so much patience and experimentation and exploration that happens in ceramics that is so different from illustration, especially like digital art, where I find that like I'm in a lot of control with all of the choices and outcomes for digital art. Ceramics is just like a totally different ballpark. So I feel like it's such a cool way for me to get to know that medium more, but also like really lean on someone who's very, very good at their craft already. I'm gonna grab the test plates. I got them right here. They're so cute. Let me talk you through the process. This is Churro. This is my partner's family dog. We used a method called sgraffito. It's actually a combination of carving and painting. Every outline where there is dark brown is actually carved in with a carving tool. After that gets smoothened out and we like take off all the excess clay. That's all dry. We take these drawing tools where you can load up the underglaze. It helps make the line art feel very sharp. The rest of the fur on Churro, that is all very diluted underglaze. So taking some water and underglaze, mixing it until it looks pretty translucent, and then applying a thin wash over it gives us this really nice subtle watercolor effect. Stacy did these really cute feet on the back. It's really cool to see the end result come together.
It's currently almost 1 a.m. I just got back home. Kirsten and Stacy helped drop me off. We did a bunch of deliveries for the local drop-off options for our pet portraits, and then we cooked the really popular udon mapo tofu dish that's going around the internet right now. Super delicious, very tasty, would recommend. I'm gonna sign off for the day. That was my Friday in a nutshell. Bye. Today is Sunday. I'm gonna be going into Now Place SF to do some risograph printing, which I'm super excited about. I'm gonna tackle drawing and printing a bunch of copies of holiday cards. Saturday, we had planned to go to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and thank you to our friend Rolando who got us these tickets for free because he volunteers with them. Spent about like
3 hours at the aquarium. We got to touch a lot of things in all of the touch zones, touch pools, including isopods. This guy. I'm like in Animal Crossing when you fish something and they go wah and they just hold it up for you to see. This guy, this isopod. Our friend Joey got this for us because for his birthday, our friends went to the Monterey Bay Aquarium together too. I couldn't make it because I was tabling at SJ Made Illo Mart that weekend, but they did bring us back a giant isopod plushie, which we love a lot, and we finally got to see them in real life at the aquarium. They were just chilling. They didn't move too much, and you get to touch them. It's a 1 to 2 finger gentle kind of like pat on the back. I touched a baby isopod because I did get a little scared looking at the large guy. My partner said the large isopod feels like hard leather, like a bit spiky and rough. The baby guy I touched just feels kind of like touching a lobster, so that's about what I expected, but it was really fun. At night, I had one more pet portrait trinket dish in my possession. I'll drop a picture here. It's of Miss Mochi doing big stretch. Super cute. The most cat-like dog I have ever met, so we just felt like it was fitting to do big stretch for this illustration. I hope she likes it, and after that, we just went home and ate leftovers. This is the progress so far. It's looking very simple. Okay, you know when you're a kid and you're writing a happy birthday card for a friend and you don't leave enough room for the day and happy birthday when you get to the end? That's kind of that's what's happening here. So I'm here to tell you it's okay when it happens as an adult. Where should this S go? Okay, I'm gonna actually keep it at that like weird angle. I kind of wanted to like, let's see how it looks with like an extra tail. Oh, because then they're kind of like cat tails. I was in UX design, but I'm like really not a graphic designer by any means. And honestly, I think typography has always been one of the things that I struggled with. So this is not my strong suit, but I am having fun with it. And I think that is more important. I don't think I want it to underline it like I did with the other Y, but rather, how can we balance out the space a little bit more? So I want it to kind of like flow in a little bit more. And I'm wondering, can we actually do a little something like that over here, where maybe it actually flips out the opposite direction? I'm a big fan of kind of like clutter. Like this is probably the most design restraint I've had in anything that I've printed or like doodled like this for the purpose of the holiday card. I'm just such a maximalist and line art heavy person. So doing actually this more graphic design approach where I'm just using basic shapes, I'm erasing for the whites to show up more. I'm using a very limited color palette. This is new for me, but I kind of like it. I think why it works this time is that I had very little time to do it, so I can't really overthink too much, except for perhaps these Ys. This is the finished card. I did little 2025 with love, Nicholas, ink, and goose. So that's the final design. Gonna pop it in to prep it for print layout, because I think I'm gonna try to do these in like mini card form where it is like 4 per printer paper size. So what we're gonna do here's like the letter aspect ratio. Plop in this guy and kind of see how many I can fit.
So we'll leave a little bit of wiggle room, and that should have us comfortably squeezing 4 per page. That way I only really need to trim like a little bit off, looks like the right side of the pages. Card 2025 and risograph. Awesome. Yay! Okay, I'm really excited for how this goes. And I think we do go light to dark. So we're going to start with the lighter fluorescent pink and then the blue next. I'll print as many copies as I'm interested in for all the pinks, let it dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna basically put it back into the printer, and then we're gonna print all of the blue layer on top. I'm gonna leave you here, get ready to go, and I'll see you next inside the print shop. Bye. All around the world. Okay, hello. I just got back from Now Place SF. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I think the pink and the blue just is such an amazing combination. I just cut a stack of roughly 32 of the cards for a very speedy haul of some stuff we picked up in the last couple days. This is the magnet for the crackers, the rice crackers that I love, and the design is by Akaling. So freaking cute. And then this is by Rolly Poly. It's this little paintbrush guy with a smiley face. It's so cute. And then this guy is a little paint palette full of all the colors and also a little smiley face. So cute. Thank you, Kirsten. We had to get the hammerhead shark magnet as well as the little hand sewn stuffy keychain of the hammerhead shark. He's just like a goofy guy. I love how he looks. He's quite silly. We just had my sister drop off her cat, and we're gonna take the cat home with us for the holidays. Gave them the holiday card, and then I have one last thing to unwrap. They gave us an early Christmas gift because they'll be gone. So cute. A Yoshi bike. It's double Yoshi too. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking cute. It's like a Mario Kart Yoshi. I love Yoshi's Crafted World, Yoshi's Woolly World. Thank you guys. I will wrap it up here. Thank you so much for listening to my very first vlog ever. Still getting the hang of things, but if you made it this far, thank you very much. Have a good new year. Happy holidays. And thank you for giving your time. Wishing you safety, peace, and warmth with your family or your chosen family this year. Bye!